Hello. I think handshake. Sorry about this. Just double checking, making sure. Yep, mic's working. Sorry about the wait for that. I was just having to quickly double check some audio things and make sure. But welcome. It's nice to see everyone here. See a couple of names in the chat already. Hello, everyone. So yes, aim of this stream. I'm just going to say up at the top. Going to be working on the Masked Muscle Punch-Out theme. So as you can see on the screen already, there's a few bits and pieces I was working out. I decided I was just going to try and get a start going, just to make sure I can actually, I'm not going to be stuck there trying to rack my brain to come up with a theme or anything like that. So what I might as well do is to start off with, this is very bare bones, so it's not even as constructed as the Dragon Chan one was on my last theme, but it might give you an idea of the kind of sound I'm going for, so... That one immediately cuts off there just because I started it and I thought, I'll do it on stream, but that will be the intro. And then... So yes, as you can tell, the kind of general vibe I'm going for, since Mexican wrestler, I wanted to try and distinguish it a little bit from what I did with Piston Hurricane, which was much more just kind of Latin, just Latin music. I wanted to, so getting a bit more into samples. So I was thinking, okay, you know, wrestling, I know with my wrestlers themes, things like that, you'll tend to have like hip-hop things, you'll tend to have rock things, but keeping a bit of that Mexican style in with the guitar. Yeah, basically just trying to see what I can do to mix with those. So I'm going to trying to find out what am I going to use for like a melody instrument as well. I've got in this opening bit, which once again, as you might have noticed, a theme with these on my Super Punch Out ones, it's based on Masked Muscle's Super Punch Out beginning theme. I'm going to try and make it this kind of Mexican Latin-esque rock hip hop. I'm not even sure exactly what to call of this, but it's just gonna be a little bit of a fusion mangle here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish that off now. So first thing that I remember from it is just remember how the tune, if I remember correctly, it's but I also want to give it a little bit just distinguished from that. I kind of want to do a bit of a rhythmic, it's called a rhythmic anticipation. It's when something hits slightly before the beat. So as you can see here, actually looking at the divisions on here on FL Studio, this note is hitting directly on this division of the bar, the fourth beat at the bar. Maybe for that one actually I'll keep it the same, but I know it loops around. I might just copy all of that, paste it in again, and yeah, that's what I want to do. Anticipation. And then probably have a fall off here. Yeah, yeah, Mexican rock, hip-hop, Latin fusion. Nice, easy, catchy, rolls off the tongue. I think, I was going to say, I was trying to think what's the closest I could get to with actual wrestlers, and I guess sort of Rey Mysterio's theme, but like that's a bit more hip-hop, and I guess that's California. He's from like the California, South California border. I honestly can't remember, to be fair. I think that kind of like border region, America, Mexico, and I can't remember if it's like family on either side, but anyway, yeah, gives that kind of nice feel. I think it's something which works for Master Muscle as a wrestler. So let's just see how that sounds with that. What I'll probably do is do I speak Spanish? Un poco de español. And I learned that's not quite the limit of it, but just about. But it's also Spanish that is very much Iberian and very much Madridian Spanish. Since I'm from England, we learn the Spanish that is closest to us, much like I imagine Americans learn the Spanish that is closest to them, and much more of the Mexican accent or Puerto Rican and things like that. Also, apology if I do start speaking any Spanish or try and communicate like that. I always, whenever I'm speaking another language, try and speak it sort of how it should be spoken, which does sometimes mean that the accent sort of sounds a little bit weird and mangled, because obviously I'm never going to have a true accent from any of those regions, but I always try and get the pronunciation right at least. So yeah, we'll see what happens if I ever do. Tus videos son muy buenos. Se nota que le dedicas tiempo. So, from what I can gather of the translation, that your videos are very good. Se nota que le dedicas tiempo. Tiempo is time. Que se nota, something written. I guess that I'm always also wary of false cognates in language. Sorry, I'm doing a music stream and I'm talking about language so much now, but I do like language as well. One was where when you're reading another language, especially ones where, you sort of English with both Latin and Germanic languages, you have a lot of words where you suddenly think, oh, that looks like this one, it must be the same meaning, and then you find out it very much isn't. I mean, even just thinking between Spanish and like Italian, the word for donkey in one is the word for butter in the other, and I can't remember which way round it is. I think burro is butter in Italian, and then donkey in Spanish, or it's that way around, I think. Anyway, you don't want a donkey on your pasta. So, what I'm gonna do... Okay, first thing I'm going to do, I need to remember, I really should learn exactly where on these instruments the fall-off note is. There's a very nice thing on the shreddage guitars here, which just gives you a slide note. There's slide and slide note between these two, and even though I've used these for a while, I can never quite remember if slide note, one of them puts the slide right down the guitar neck. If you start at the start of a note, it starts right from the open, it slides up onto the note. The other kind of slide just slides between two notes that you select. So I guess we'll have to find out. First of all, I'm going to look and see where is my key switch. So it's the C below that, and then it's the F below that, or the G. So C below, and then the F or the G. Let's just try this. It's not that one. It's the other one. Oh wait, no. G. There we go. Oh, and because of a quirk in this thing, when you just set it up automatically, you'll notice. So where that little red dot was shows where on the guitar it's simulating that fret. Now, if I do a slide down from that one there, where my mouse is, you can see my mouse, I assume. Let me know if you can't see my mouse, otherwise my explanation is not going to make sense at all. The slide goes down just 2 frets, so it sounds a little bit limp, it sounds a little bit meh. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to manually force the string on that one to really make sure it goes high up on the neck, probably, or at least a little higher on the string down. So it was going on to the, let's see, I want it to go down onto the E string on that. So if I just track where that is down as well, so it's that's C, C down an octave, and another down the octave. Okay. So that's that down the octave. I think it's right at the very bottom, actually, isn't it? Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Which is if I go back to the guitar, that string is highlighted. And it does all of those solely on that string. So it sounds a little bit different quality, actually, if you hear the difference. I actually probably want it on the 8th string. It sounds a little bit more of a bright tone when I do that. But then I'm just going to, for the final note... There you go. So that sounds like a much better... it's a much better slide off there. Now, what I probably want to do is I set it to... Oh, I really should learn where these key switches are. Yeah, that is the right one. On the G to get it back to not being any deliberate string whatsoever, which I'm going to need if I'm going to be putting the guitar later on. So, let's add... Tell you what, let's add another guitar to that. I've got... Oh yeah, I already did prepare one. So I'm going to use this as a rhythm guitar. I've got the 2 guitars panned, so slightly to the right is going to be the lead guitar. To the left, I'm going to have that one as well. So, what do we do? Ooh, tremoloing. Why is it tremoloing? I don't want it to tremolo. No, sustain, give me. And I might do some funky mute stuff in there as well. Ooh, actually, what if I think in the original... No, actually, I'm going to leave this as a rhythm guitar. I might put the bass doing the same thing, because I think in the original introduction... Turn that down a bit, because it's not going to overpower the... No, we want that. Yeah, okay, so what's kind of rhythm? Okay, try and find a good rhythm for this. I don't know if I want it specifically to be trying to emulate the rhythm guitars I've got later on as the actual sort of Spanish nylon guitar, but just at the start anyway. Oh, actually, no, I've got a factor out. I want it to be kind of a just very simple rhythm at the moment. Yeah, take that. The other thing I need to do is I really need to learn my simple key shortcuts. I'm doing a lot of Control V, Control V. Let's change up the sound on that as well. So it's going to be doing... That's sustain, this is going to mute, so it just gives a little bit of a separation on those small chugs. Oh yeah, the guitar side, it's a really nice, I definitely recommend these. It's, with a lot of the instruments, I've taken a bit of time gathering these... Oh, that didn't sound as separated as I wanted it to. I've taken a bit of time gathering these instruments, so some of them have been an investment from even a few years ago or something like that. So they can be, they're not the super expensive ones, but they are in the default sound packs in some DAWs, which are perfectly fine. And, you know, they give you something good to work with, and, you know, mostly it's about your musicality. But these really do help, just as a very simple thing where I can just slap in a guitar and say, great, that's going to sound good, and I've got a good few presets, and then if I want to, I can go into the nitty-gritty and tweak them down. Why was it sounding weird? No, I'm going to put it staccato. Let's change it to that. What does that sound like? Ah, my headphones. Sorry, this is another problem as well. My headphones are slightly busted, so they do sometimes cut out. I'm going to have to... Yeah, that's what I want to do. Actually, I'm going to make that staccato, those mute, and see what it does. Oh, I really should separate this out, actually. It should be its own pattern. Sorry, otherwise you just have to separate it out so that I can actually hear them on their own moments. So let's just cut that, make a new pattern, chuck it underneath there. And open this up. And I think just a very simple pattern. Take that, put that in again, and then last one of the section, reverse it. So it's just to fill it out. If I really want to change it around, I can change out the pattern later, and also to make it sound a little bit more human. I'd be probably changing around the volumes here as well. At the moment, I tend to do them in a fairly straight sound. I can come back and tweak things like that later. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. And from what I remember, in the original one, it pretty much stays in one key. Doesn't really matter for us here. It's just a quick intro thing. So I can just literally make that exactly the same. Oh, I forgot to copy the key switches. That's important to do, otherwise it's going to sound completely off. Well, not completely off, but it would just sound not exactly as I wanted it to. Okay, let's just see how that sounds underneath everything. I'm going to want a final chord on that to drop off as well, the same way as the other one does. So that was, the slides were up at the G here. Just makes them all trail off at the same. And then actually it sounded a little bit flat when I was just doing that, where it's all on the same chord. I'm going to boost the volume slightly. I'm going to be adding the bass into this as well, so it's going to sound a little bit more full, but you can really play around with it to get different chords. So what's it doing? I'm going to make that one also anticipate. So it's going to match the lead guitar, so they're both going to hit that slightly before the beat, which means I want that to go ahead of that. There we go, that probably should do it. Yeah, that's what I want. So yeah, I got the hip-hop beat underneath that. I'm probably going to add some bass to that, so... And I think in the original one, this is also another shredded instrument. It's the shredded precision bass. Got a very nice sound to it, so I'm just going to make that exactly the same. Or I'm going to make it do the first part of it, so it's going to do da 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 da. It's going to be the same, and then. And I'm going to make it do the same pattern as the rhythm guitar, so it's just kind of flicking between the two of them. And then fit into the along with the rhythm guitar for the rest of that section. But I'm going to make the bass do something different on that. Just like slight little variation. I'm a bassist myself, so I kind of like it when the bass does something a little bit more. So simple octave jump. I keep it kind of simple. I don't want it to be too fancy. It's not like a jazz bass, so something like that. And quick copy and paste. Not needing to be too detailed on things like this. This is very much more the compositional side of it. Getting the majority of it down, so sounds a bit awkward, but I think that might just be because it's all, as I said before, as I'm writing this out, it's all same volume, it's all things like that. A lot of the subtleties of humanizing it I don't actually put in yet. Just very much getting the sound of it. So that kind of gives a bit of a feel. I think that's quite nice. And then separates out the introduction theme a little bit. Maybe I'll add some of the elements which I've got from the main bit back into it, but now we're just going to think on the main section, which is much more kind of hip-hop, Latin. Maybe going to add the actual electric guitar in there as well. I'm going to first of all double up those guitars. So this is a very nice instrument actually. This is the nylon guitar. It's by Native Instruments, and it gives you a lot of good strumming patterns. So this is very useful for you search through it. They don't have everything. They don't have every conceivable pattern, in which case you can sort of do kind of what you want, but it gives you a nice way of choosing these patterns, switching between them with these key switches, and giving you a kind of nice set to go with. So I'll let you listen to this. So I've got this kind of more open start, and then yes, Amigos, this version. Yes. So actually, mariachi, that's the word which I was trying to look for. So I'm trying to get hopefully some of that kind of mariachi feel. So maybe I'll put in a solo trumpet, kind of like I did with the Piston Hurricane one actually. I might trade that off, have that or the electric guitar. They can trade between them. So yeah, you can hear it. Sorry, anyway, that nylon guitar, it's got some automatic things like you set it to the right pattern, and it has that really nice strum, that very Spanish style, Spanish guitar style strum. And then yeah, there's something in one of these samples, I think it's the Beijing one actually, which is very interestingly named because it feels to me kind of like a very, I don't know, I don't think of Beijing when I hear it, but anyway, yeah, so I was going to double these guitars up. So nice and simply, I can just clone this in FL Studio, give me another guitar, and let's keep it with the same patterns. But what you can actually do is, on this, it's got sound settings, which gives it a certain kind of feel. So that one was Spanish fingerstyle. I might change it to Flamenco Teatro. That's quite a nice one, which just changes up the sound of it subtly. But if you've got two guitars going on at the same time, and if they're doing the same thing, and especially if it's the same program, they're gonna sound awfully like each other. So to really kind of distinguish them, just changing up that default setting to a different one, and then actually panning them slightly. So this left knob on here, if you're not familiar with FL Studio, pans it either to left or right. So doing a little bit of panning between them means that even if I were to now just take this entire pattern and clone it, in fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Just straight as this, and oh, that's why. And probably cut out I'm going to mute this first bit. I don't think we need two guitars on that. We're going to have, that gives it a bit more of the introduction to the round music, makes it a bit more open. But then this should hopefully, and I can tweak it if it doesn't sound quite right, should hopefully give us just a doubled up guitar, slightly different, and pan to the other side. So it's not making a noise. Why is it not making a noise? What's it doing there? Huh. Yeah, it should be. Why is it not flashing up there then? What's it doing? Let's look at this pattern. Let's get it playing. Oh, that's why. It's because I just I didn't. I'm an idiot. I meant to copy it over to the other guitar side, and I never did. I just cloned the pattern and I forgot to transfer it over. So now it should be a slightly different sound, and on the left side a bit more. I put the two guitars next to each other actually. They're not actually too dissimilar from each other, but it does noticeably sound a bit more like two different guitars playing. And what actually I might do to sort of humanize it and change them up. So these patterns, we're changing the pattern being played. So you can hear there's slight subtle differences to it. So what I might actually do to make them different from each other is actually just change those around. So let's change it around like this. So the first one's going to be that. Make the first two of those ones strummed, that one back to that one strum up to like that one changed to that one. Let's leave that one strumming that pattern on that, and then just change that up to that. Don't change back to that. That one's strum up to like that. So that should differentiate them a bit. So now if I play both of them together, you should hear that they play slightly different patterns. Or it might just blend together a bit too much, but they should sound more unique to each other. Okay, so now, so I had the accordion as well to give it a bit more, as you were saying, that mariachi feel. Let's just put everything in, and I'm going to see what I'm going to do with the bass. So I'm going to keep this clean, the sound, and I'm not going to make a new pattern. What basic pattern do I want it to do? So, And I am actually going to change up some of the patterning on this just because it sounds a little bit too twangy every time. I've got it on the plucked thing. So take that one down to have like a first hit. Da, da, da. And that's coming in sort of slightly anticipation. Maybe not quite like that. Have that extended. Connect those up. More of a subtle, not quite a ghost note on that. Change up that pattern. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm just going to copy that as a basic pattern. And then I can tweak it around, make the bass do something a bit more fun. But for now, we're just going to outline the chord sequence. So C down to B, A flat, C, G is the fifth. E, and then we've got a nice walk down, B flat. And then in this first pattern, I changed on the instrument, so it's actually doing it instead of just going. Just a little bit of flavour on there. One of the things, and one of the things which I'm trying to do a bit more is actually leave it a bit more free and open, where I often tend to make things as I'm doing this digitally via the computer, making it very much on the bar, on the beats they hit exactly. And some of these programs, they do have automatic humanizing processes, so it actually kind of does a little bit of the work for you. But for some of them, I really sort of need to get used to tweaking them around a bit. So technically, I could make this triplet figure. You can actually change this magnet here and make 16 step, and you can see if they hit exactly on those 3 divisions of the bar. And then sort of change it back to the 4s to make sure it's hitting on exactly on the bars there. But actually, not bothering to change that might make it a bit more human, where the triplet isn't perfect, but that's kind of like a real human player. So, oh, cheers, thank you, Just Oasis. Yeah, I was kind of happy with that Piston Hurricane one. I think the only thing about it probably is that I think actually it is audibly a little quiet. I know some of them are. So I've been trying to figure out the balancing on these things when I'm finishing them up and exporting them to make sure that they're not sort of too quiet. I think it's just a difference between my program and some of my playback programs and things like that. Makes it sound a little bit weird. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Just that it's subtle. This is kind of more of a rock thing. So the Piston Hurricane one, I think I was trying to be a little bit more free with the bass. This one, just to give it that almost simplistic kind of beat with it, with just a couple of flourishes. Little things like that triplet is quite nice, actually. So I'm just going to copy that straight on for the second part of it. In which case, in this time, it doesn't actually do that nice change down there. Kind of relaxed triplet there as well. It's probably going to be quite nice, actually. Okay, let's just play that through with all the bass. So. that's definitely a nice nice little flourish on the bass at the end there. I might go back later on and put a couple more twiddles and bits like that in, just to make the bass feel a little bit more alive. It's very static at the moment, but I'm going to kind of leave it like that while I move on to the tune. Oh, the Dragon Chan theme. So there's if you you say you weren't able to see the stream. If you did see the stream, you might have noticed that my big problem with that was the sound I was going for, and I was very much drawing from the Enter the Dragon soundtrack for that sound. I couldn't find a good way to translate it into the major, happier sounding sections for things like Mac, your opponent being down and Mac winning and things like that. I couldn't quite get it to sound satisfactory. And then the problem is that on stream it just kind of led me stagnating, going around in circles, listening to it again and again and saying I can't do this. So I decided to leave that one, and I've come back to it a couple of times. I'm still struggling. So that one, it might, I mean, to be honest, considering this one feels like it's coming on a lot more naturally, I've yet to hit any of those major key parts actually in this, but I think just in my mind it's feeling a little bit more like I know what to do with that here. Then I feel like I will probably this will probably actually come out before Dragon Chan. I don't know, I've had a horrible feeling that Dragon Chan might become this sort of what's the term for it? I was going to say golden goose, but that's not quite what you're looking for. That's sort of Eldorado gold, like, you know, it's going to be the one thing I'm chasing constantly to try and see if I can get it out. But we'll see how it comes along. I'm sure I'll come back to it at some point, and as with many of my music bits, you come back to something later and it suddenly clicks and you suddenly think, excellent, I can do it, and I rattle it off in about 5 minutes suddenly. But for now, let's look at the melody theme on this. So what does it sound like just on a guitar? I'm going to copy this. Just put the, I didn't copy, yeah, good, pattern 9, so it's not copying exactly what it is. I'm gonna bump that up the octave. I think that was my headphones cutting out where I couldn't hear the note. I'll try and make this a bit more free, so... this is where, if anyone did catch my Dragon Chan stream, sometimes when making the melodies on things like this, so the tune itself would go da 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 da, goes down to this B flat here. But I think actually to keep it in key, I'm going to change it to this, to the B natural, sharpen it slightly, keeps it a bit more, it's a particular sort of harmonic minor mode. I think that will just work with this sound, so... Oh, no, it needs to be the B flat. Whoops. I forgot that. Stupid me. Right. I quite like that sound. Let's keep it going. That one will probably be this note and then pitch bend up to that, just to give it a bit more of like a sound. Let's change this up. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Da, da, da. A little bit more loose. I think with the really sort of straight on the beat sample backing beat, it's quite nice for the tune itself to be slightly a bit more free and off. Pretty sexy. Yeah, I can work with that, copy that, paste it for the second half, changes slightly at the end. Now, the one thing is that I've dropped the octave there, and I just wonder if the sound of the tune itself would be better down there. Okay, definitely I think this, as you can see, actually just visually it nicely glides up, so actually having this the octave down, this the octave up, distinguishes the two halves, makes it a bit nicer having that. And I'm actually just going to tweak those around as I just straight copied and pasted it. Don't want it to sound too similar, so probably change that to be sort of tapping when I actually do the key switches. Make it a bit more loose, a bit more, not quite triplets, but actually, yeah, that's 5. It's quintuplet over that. So, actually physically do that change up there, so if I change that up the octave as well. Yeah, I quite like that. It's not exactly as I'll have it at the end. Give it a bit more sort of human life, change up the volume on that, put in some actual note bends. We might get to that by a later part of the stream. Let's see what happens for now. So I'm just gonna maybe I'll add rhythm guitar in there as well, actually, to give it Yeah, I like that. Actually, I'm going to take this opportunity and change up how I look. Aha! It gives a kind of hype feel. Bit more of a kind of into this. It feels quite nice. I think this is going well. So let's see. Yeah, let's just take the rhythm guitar. Let's clone that in. See how that sounds. It might be a bit overpowering. Let's cut those out. Cut that out. Cut that out. A bit too straight rhythm for this. I want something a bit more like the Spanish guitar was. I can't remember the name of the oh, it's a particular thing, the Latin that I feel like it begins with tri or like tree or something. But that we usually have like the claves, things like that. Anyway, let's try and get a rhythm a bit more like that in the guitar. Something a bit more like that. And start mute, full mute, staccato. Let's make that. Take that. Rhythm guitar is going to be very simple, straight power chords, roots, fifth, octave one. The Spanish guitars I have, the nylon guitars, have a little bit more of the third, gives it a little bit more of the minor feel and the actual colour of the chord. But all this needs to be is just kind of pack a punch extra in the side of it, so... It sounds a little bit... that's possibly something I need to do actually. First of all, let's change this. Instead of every bar, every quarter step, put it a little bit ahead. That's the one thing with these guitars. If you're ever using the shreddage, sometimes you need to preempt the note a little. I think there is another way in which you can change that in some of the settings, but I've yet to properly find that at the moment. But quick fix of it is just put the guitars slightly ahead of where they should be playing. They should be playing directly on that line. Just put them slightly ahead and it will actually sync up a bit better. But when you're actually manipulating the pattern in this, you can actually just keep it on the bar lines, keep it exactly as you want it rhythmically. You just move the pattern slightly ahead. Copy those. This one down to the fifth, to the G. See how that sounds with the others. Oop, I accidentally loop that. Actually, I want this pattern as well to have that continuation. In which case... Put that as a second mute on there. Dun. Now that one's also going to have the same continuation pattern, but I'm going to make something which actually sounds a little bit like the strum in between as well. These ones I'm actually going to make them both staccato. That's going to be the difference between that pattern and this pattern. This one, it moves onto the mute for the final note. This one just going to keep on the staccato. Subtle differences, but might actually make it feel just that little bit different on the actual thing. So. This one. And then this is where it goes down to the F and then finishes up on the G. And then this is where I'm going to simulate the strum, where it just quickly does a quick da-da. Actually got to do the same there as well. Yeah, I'm just going to keep that with the power chord there. And actually copy this wholesale second part of this. Don't know if I need the tweak on that. Oh, other than the pattern doesn't do that change to the F there. So that should just give us a nice quick simple rhythm guitar underneath all of that. I think I kind of liked it a bit more when the Spanish guitars were a bit more audible. I'm going to try boosting their volume, see if that shouldn't make it too overpowering. But I feel like they're just slightly getting drowned out by the electric guitar. But I don't want to turn that down too much. Well, I guess I could do it with automation. But I don't want it to lose it at the beginning of this, is it? Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Although I might add one of the guitars into that as well. I'm also going to add maybe a percussion line. I might see if I can either find a sort of some kind of like maracas sample or some kind of shaker sample. I feel like that might work well with that. Go with the beat. Either, yeah, shaker sample or actually make one with the shaker instrument itself. Okay, so I think that's got our general pattern anyway. That wasn't even meant to be a pun, but I guess it was. So, to cut this back down as well as to what it should be for the pause music, let's just copy that, cut that down, and just pop that straight in, and we'll see how that sounds just on its own, see if that sounds nicely cut back. With just the head effects sample. Maybe I will want both of those in. How long does it take to make a song? It depends. So, as you can tell with this one, sometimes the song itself lends itself well to just putting in sections. So, for example, my entire drum section, I don't need to worry too much about, you know, trying to actually write a drum part when I've got these good samples, and that fits in with the actual vibe of the song. Other times I might have to go a bit more nitty-gritty. I might have to make it a bit more expansive with the instruments. Sometimes things come to me quite easily, and there's just like an idea, and I'll be like, oh yeah, excellent, like that can work, in which case I can, you know, dedicate a couple of evenings, you know, get a tune down in one maybe, or two, take another couple of nights perhaps, and tweak it and get it up kind of thing, and then sort out a process of well, for my videos as I've been uploading them, I've been using very basic software and very basic video processing, as you can tell. One thing I hope to do is actually get one of the slightly more professional ones, give it a bit more of a professional, not going to go sort of whole hog on it, but a bit more of a professional feel for the videos at least. Make that a bit of a better experience. So, yeah, I'd say depending on, and of course I've got work I need to do, I've got other things like those which can, and just general life bits which can get in the way. So usually I would expect one of these might take me somewhat within like a week window of actual work, or not of the actual work, but a week's time period of as if I was working on it each night in my own time, and that can sometimes end up a bit spread out, which is why some of my uploads have been a little bit spread out, you know, monthly. Sometimes they've come quickly, one on from the other times they've been a bit separated out. But yeah, some of them can sometimes be a bit more of a stick in, which is why the Dragon Chan one, I'm gonna keep going back to it, but the Dragon Chan one is so frustrating. I'm gonna put my angry face on just how frustrated it is. But no, let's go back to kind of hype. So let's see, what we want then is coming on from these. Yeah, let's have the Mac down one now. So let's just take this pattern one, we'll put it into, yeah. Let's cut something from these. They're gonna go over to a new pattern, pop it in. I'm gonna change this back to being on the bar. Just makes it easier when I'm putting down patterns to actually have it be quite nice. So cut them off. Those. Just make it a simple just change of chord actually. Ah, interesting. Trying to remember what would be going on with the Mac Down theme. So da 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 da. Ah, yes, it's automatic chord balancing from this instrument where it will actually change that. So even though it looks like it's got the same root note and everything like that, it actually changes the sound of it to go down and put one of the other notes on the bottom of the root of it. So I actually quite like it. Yeah, I quite like that sound actually. Ooh, I'm stuck now, actually. That's both of those sound quite nice. Ooh. These are all sounding really nice. Oh, that's not a... I guess what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make that the difference between the two instruments actually. Maybe they can trade off on each bar. Copy that in, paste that into the other nylon guitar so it's the same chord pattern but a different... Play it between the two of them. Oh, maybe that works. And let's just try putting one of these loops in. I might plunder the same sample pack for a different loop to go underneath the deal. No, actually, that sounds good as it is. So that will be the chord sequence underneath the little Mac down. Might put a bit more of an adventurous bass pattern underneath. Let's copy the... Oops, where's that long? Ah, that's why. I think that this feels quite nice actually. Slightly. What are we doing with this here? My headphones are busted and jacked up again. God damn it. Right. Just to sound if that actually sounds good, I'll just copy those wholesale and see if that loops nicely, as it would if it were in game. So... okay, yeah, that does. Just this. Give that a little twiddle on there. So. Nah, that doesn't quite work at all. Maybe lead in like that. Now I'm going to leave it like that. That's probably good enough. Then... Ooh, so it might be a bit difficult. Oh, that's what I need. I need the maybe that can go in the accordion. That would be quite good, actually. Or it's not specifically not the accordion. It's a bandoneon. See if that will. If that gives us. Oh, hey, amigos. Nice to see you here. Yeah, this Masked Muscle tune is going a lot better than the well, a lot better than when I left off the Dragon Chan one, which got a bit stuck. But let's see what this is. Just change up the rhythm of that slightly, give it a bit more of a feel, and then let's see how that sounds. So let's just check that on the second time around. Change that one back to its proper tone, which should be. Change that rhythm up slightly. Change that a little bit more like a triplet. Just humanizing this was a bit more just like the accordion player just fooling around with it, so. A little bit quiet, so I kind of want... maybe this I can change up the rhythm guitar to actually, as it's slightly quieter than the lead guitar, might not be too bad having that kind of doubling what the accordion is doing. And I might make it a little bit like, make it muted so it won't be too distracting. Put that on there, that should... Is that right? No, that's not the right set. Ah, I've done it too low. Yeah, there we go. And quieten it down a bit, so... Once again, that rhythm guitar needs to be slightly back, so I'm going to change this back off the bar, change it back to a quarter step so I can put that slightly ahead of time, and then put that back on bar so it's easier for later ones. I'm going to keep this one where the pattern is exactly the same in the guitar, so it's not quite as humanized as the accordion. And hopefully the subtle differences between them should make it sound a bit nicer. Which, if you want to know from my studies of music back in school, way back when, is called Heterophony. Hetero as different, phony as to do with phonics and music. So, so anyone ever studied GCSE music at the same time as I did, they'll be very familiar with that being associated with the song Kiri, I think it is, and I forgot the name of the band, but as a African, which country was it? Ghana? I've forgotten which country it was now. But yes, an example of heterophonic music. That's stuck in my mind forever, so thank you to my teachers for teaching me and getting that stuck in my mind. So let's see how that sounds between the two of them. Maybe not muted. Maybe I want it to be maybe I want it to be the staccato one. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay. Oh, thank you, Charles. That's very kind of you to say. I mean, I really like the music in Punch-Out!! Wii. As you can tell, why I started this project off in the first place was just sounds really nice. It's nice, you know. They step into deliberate stereotypes, I guess, but it's kind of fun to explore what they did and actually taking that. It's one of the things which I really love about sort of when people do modern versions of games or anything like that, where they really change up a feel of something to incorporate character elements of something like that. So for them, going through using character themes which were associated with the characters' countries and made it much more individualistic, rather than things like the obviously the NES and SNES Punch-Outs could, you know, had limited stuff they could do with the music, really, or that they chose to do, I suppose. But yeah, we'll tell you what, since there's probably a few people who haven't been here for a bit. Oh, Raging Fist, sorry, I missed your comment. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for with it, with Master Muscle being a wrestler. It's kind of something which I took as like a very lucky I had these samples. They're quite nice actually at the bottom here for the drum beats. Actually got from Zero-G packs, which would have been used in the 90s. So probably some wrestling themes from then might have used these in the back of some of the tracks. Very much to give that kind of feel. I think I said before at the beginning of this stream, sort of Rey Mysterio was the one that came to mind. I'm sure others kind of around that time where, yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's a wrestling theme. So I'll just play this from the beginning, just so you guys can hear the different sections. Some of them will get some tweaks, but and then the second half of it will just be the pause music theme version, which is just going to be a stripped back version of the first part anyway. It's like a mix of Eddie Guerrero's. Yeah, so actually, well, that works really well then, actually, because I'm trying to remember, Eddie was a face for some parts of it, but I know a lot of it he was, I mean, well, you know, wrestling stereotypes. He was kind of meant to be the evil, well, the Mexican heel, I guess, for a while. But then again, I guess people loved him because he was, you know, that kind of cheat your way, but cheat your way lovingly, as, you know, when he was a face. But yeah, I mean, I guess that works really well then, actually, to get Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio's, yeah, a kind of mix of them, I think works well for like a masked wrestler who is Mexican and a heel, very much a heel. So, oh, thanks again, Joel. It's yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, to be fair, also, and whenever I always think, whenever people are doing fan projects and production and things like that for music and for game music, I always try and consider the fact that like game composers, and usually when they're tasked on the project, have a bit of a limited time with it. So frequently when I'm doing things like these, the only person who's breathing down my neck is myself, really. And I try and keep a very healthy mind on these things, so I'm sometimes a little bit lax on that to make sure I'm not, overpressuring myself. Whereas if I was doing this for a studio, say, some of these, it might be a case of I can't, step back from something too much. It's just you have a executive who says something like, we need these by the end of the week or something like that. So I think sometimes I can afford myself to sit back on these, think about them, tweak them slightly, and change them up. But still, thank you. It means a lot to get comments like that. Thank you. So now that we've done that for the Mac Down theme, let's do for the opponent one. So let's think how we're going to do this on a. Let's change it for that beats. And let's just get the Spanish like they're in there. Let's change up what they're doing. So a C minor, which means that the relative major would be goodness me, I'm just flattening it. What? So 2, 3, so C, 1, 2, 3. So E flat major, of course. What am I doing? So that's what we need to have for our major. So and it changes on the bar, so got 4 bars with that. I think very simply it actually just goes 1 1 5 1 5 on the major bits. So so let's see if that's the basic part of it. What can we do to spice it up? What can we change around with these chords? If I just change that to be, so instead of changing the root of it, does it allow that? Ah, this pattern doesn't. What about a different one? Oh, that might lighten it up actually. Oh, add some maracas. Oh, good point actually. Yes, I was gonna try and see if I can add some maracas. Let's see. I'm gonna try first of all, seeing I don't know actually if this comes across nicely for you guys. I can't remember what my audio capture actually captures from FL Studio. If it would take. Actually, what shows up on stream? Ah, that doesn't show up on stream. Good. That's good, because that's going into my files on my computer. But I think you guys should be able to see the name change. No, it won't change the name. But does it play those? Yeah, that is coming through on OBS. Okay, good. So you guys can at least hear when I'm going through these different sounds, at least what they sound like. I kind of like the sound of that, actually. Let's put that and let's just see what that sounds like if I... Take that one out. Maybe not. Because I kind of like the... Maybe I'll just chop that down. And give it a more of a... Ooh. Ah, it's because I've got it set to the bar. Doesn't like that. Change it for the beats there. Ooh, not quite like that. More like that. Take that out. See what that sounds like just... Just has a bit more of a shake into it. I'm just gonna... Right, and... what I could probably do... Maybe if I separate that out into its own channel on here, I can try doing an effects pass. Now, I'm not really too good with my effects. I'm much more of like, I've come into this starting off with very much a orchestral side mind, where you're much more dealing with instruments and how they sound. So lots of effect things are not necessarily my forte, but I can always give it a good try. So to make it much more of a high thing. Yeah, I think that works quite nicely, actually. Keep that going as a... So it's not quite maracas, but it gives that kind of sense of it. And maybe I can also find maracas to go with that as well. Yeah, it just gives that kind of more of a... I feel like maybe what I can do is I might get a third nylon guitar in here. First of all, we're just going to copy this pattern. Going to make that one also fit in with the... Take this, copy that into there, change that, but then change up the pattern on this one so it's... This always feels strangely R&B. I mean, I'm not an expert on R&B, but I don't know why it just feels... I feel like I'm hearing a particular kind of singing on top of that. Maybe if I put it more in... yeah. Let's see. Save that for now. Always good to save work. What's your favourite game soundtrack? That's a kind of a tough one, actually. I think... Oh, I just realised my expression is sort of still that different. Let's do happy. So, yeah. While I'm thinking on what instrument I'm going to be using for the melody, I'll answer that question. So yeah, what is your favourite game soundtrack? It's pretty tough, actually. Like, there's a lot of ones which I really like. They've stuck with me from my childhood. So, I always liked the Spyro games, and Stuart Copeland's soundtrack for that was always quite good. Really kind of inspiring, especially in terms of interesting drum sounds, because while I think it's not quite the same as when he was actually drumming for bands in real life, he would do some of these slightly stranger things with the drummings, things you might not find so obvious, changing where the backbeat is, changing up what kind of pattern he's doing on that, which was quite nice. And just I generally like the sound. That's one of the things actually which I've done as a project side before, was using, there's a very nice sound font that was made, sort of gathering together some instruments that we use for the Spyro soundtracks, and just allowing people to download that and then try it out for themselves. So I've done some work with that. Other soundtracks as well. I mean, I always like the Halo soundtracks. There's another great one. To be honest, actually, the Pokemon soundtracks are something which has always stuck with me, even from my childhood. I think that's another thing where maybe I should do some of those on stream as well, actually. I started some Pokemon Gold and Silver, orchestrating them and things like that, and trying to bring, because while the Heart Gold Soul Silver did some kind of update, and you had things, other people have done similar things as well, there's a particular kind of sound which I was hoping to go for. Actually, I could probably, I wouldn't be able to play it on this screen actually, but maybe I could load up some of those. I might play. Tell you what, after I've done some work on this, I might open up one of those project files and just sort of show off a little bit of that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's so many soundtracks which I listen to bits of. I like some pieces from some, and I might like, one or two from another. I mean, one thing recently which I've been listening to as well, the Ace Combat series, and also in a similar vein, the Project Wingman sort of spiritual successor Ace Combat indie game. Both of those soundtracks are really nice. It's a whole variety, really, actually, and the Punch Out Wii music as well, of course. Right. I think we're going to need another nylon guitar in here. Clone that. But this time, we're going to pick nylon, we're going to take the melody version, so we can actually pop that in and start writing a melody. Oh, that's a good shout, the Donkey Kong Country. Yes, David Wise, amazing. And actually, I can't remember who did the newer ones, but the changes that you get, the callbacks in some of the soundtracks, so like Tropical Freeze. I know that David Wise definitely did. In fact, no, yeah, David Wise did that, didn't he? Because I remember the I never played it. I really want to, actually. I should get it. The first boss battle, I remember all the comments on the videos for that, where people saying, "Oh my god, did he not get the memo? This was the first boss because it just goes hard." Yeah, I really like that. God, to be honest, I imagine, if anyone, you sort of pop in, and if I know the game, I probably know the soundtrack, and I probably like them, because I like a lot of things, and I like a lot of things for different reasons. So I'm one of those kinds of people where, while some people might say, "Oh, I really like this track for its metal music because I like metal music," I might say, "Oh, I really like that for metal music, but I really appreciate this other one for its hip hop, and for its this other one for its kind of dubstep style and things like that." I think everything has its own purpose and its feel, and I really like the differences in them. The Street Fighter soundtrack, definitely. All of the old ones are really good, catchy tune. The current one as well. I've got Street Fighter 6, and I know some people weren't as keen. They didn't like the music for not having as strong thematic music, and it's not like Street Fighter 4 where they kind of updated those old Street Fighter 2 themes. But I think I really quite like them. It's got that certain kind of, it's got that kind of street feel, I guess, which is what they're going for with the whole thematic of it. And I really like Zangief's theme. El Fuerte's theme, yes, of course, that would have the same kind of vibe as well. I haven't actually, the one which I admit of the Street Fighter 4 ones which I listened to, that was much more the Vega's theme, or if you are someone who is in the fighting game community and refers to them by their international no one is confused names of Claw. But yeah, his one, the very Spanish feel. And there was that was in this new Smash Bros Ultimate as well. There was the Vega's theme, I think, had also a kind of a similar, very much more bringing out the Spanish side of it rather than the rock side of it. Yeah. Yeah, the ambient stuff as well. David Wise does really nice ambient things. I definitely there was a video I saw recently. I think it was from the actual Korg channel, where it was David Wise talking through his process as he was making, or the process of the Korg Wave Station, I think it was, how he would create a sort of a patch on that, and then talking through that was essentially what he then recreated when using the SNES for the original DKC games. Like, so let's use this melody. I've got to get back to that. I'm gonna start talking about game soundtracks, and I'm not gonna get any of this music done. Let's see. To keep my melodic lines grouped together, I'm gonna shuffle these down one, and then put my Spanish guitar pattern up here. Ooh, not what I was expecting. I think this is going to be quite a nice contrast, actually. It's going to be. It might not sound right for Masked Muscle himself, but as a sheer contrast, I'm just imagining how this would appear in game. When you knock him down, this very light music kind of seems kind of fitting, almost comedic in a sense, to contrast. I can just imagine, you have that light hit, and then it comes back in with the heavy beat. Much heavier feel for when he actually gets back up and stands up. I guess it kind of, maybe it would give I can imagine a characterful side where he's kind of all talk and can't really back it up. He's kind of like, just a bully, a kind of a classic wrestling heel bully, actually. Cheats heavily, a bit of a bully, but then I guess Von Kaiser has got a bit of the slightly more cowardly side to him. But again, it's similar vein to that. We're adding so many characters, there's only so many personalities you can get in a fight. Favorite Punch-Out boxer? That's tough as well. Because in terms of the Punch-Out Wii character designs, sorry, I'm just going to get my rhythm. I'm a little bit hard of trying to multitask. There we go. I've got my pattern. There we go. So yeah, favorite Punch-Out boxer. I think I have a soft spot for Glass Joe. I think always, it definitely in like the Punch-Out Wii characterization, there's just something about like that guy will just not give up, for better or worse for his health. But I kind of appreciate that, which I don't know. Well, some people might think of the old British-French rivalry, sure, but no, I appreciate Glass Joe quite a lot. I do actually. But having said that, Von Kaiser, now that I think about it, I do quite like his character and the music as well. It's quite a nice one. Soda Popinski as well. There's Super Macho Man. They're just all too good. That's good. That's very. You've given me too much of a too difficult a question there. Actually, Super Macho Man almost fits perfectly the kind of the wrestling heel to a T. Actually, that just arrogant California surfer dude wrestling heel. That's perfect. Actually, yeah. No, so many, but especially Super Macho Man for Release the Bogus. I remember the number of times you'd see that in like Punch-Out runs. And people think like game's done quick. I wouldn't be able to talk about who's my favorite to like fight or anything like that. I've actually not really ever played the Punch-Out games myself. I played an emulated version of the NES Punch-Out for a little bit, and whether it was just I can't remember what emulator I used, it might not have been very good. It just felt very awkward to play. But I still just love the series anyway. I mean, there's plenty of things that people do like that. Ooh, least favourites. That's kind of like, it is kind of tough. I think there are a couple of ones which, and I think this is mostly on for the Super Punch-Out ones, like they do actually, I think some of them it's just because they haven't explored them as much. So the Punch-Out Wii, the ones which made it into Punch-Out Wii, they get a lot more exploration of character. And they do tend to be quite fun. I think probably out of the Punch-Out Wii ones, so out of the ones even with their explored characters and things like that, I'm not too fussed on Bear Hugger. But that's kind of, it's not really me saying, oh, I really don't like him. It's more just like, yeah, he's down, he's okay. Yeah, sure. Kind of iffy on him. There's just other ones which I really like much better. And out of most of the other game ones, yeah, I think sort of some of them, like, well, that's the thing as well. Like, you consider someone like Aaron Ryan in the Super Punch-Out one, was very boring. He was just a kind of character, and then they made him completely insane and amazing. Actually, yeah, how did I not say Aaron Ryan in for favorite? Because like that man is just crazy in such a good way. But like, you know, they inject some character into it. So I think there's plenty of characters where you could, like, you know, take someone like Pizza Pasta. You could use a lot of that for you know, you can change him up and make him a lot more interesting character than he was just being a guy in the arcade one. Just get this simply in. Change that one up slightly. Pizza Pasta theme when probably after I've done the Super Punch-Out ones, I would be interested in doing some of the other ones and getting some of the other characters who haven't had their fair shake. I was even looking at I think Amigos did his own version of what's his name, the guy with from the arm wrestling one. Is it like Texas Mac? Is that literally his name? But like that guy. I mean, characters like that I might look into. I saw once again. I feel like I'm stealing all of the ideas from Amigos's videos, but other Nintendo characters and seeing what they can do, like was done with Donkey Kong. It'll be interesting. I can't remember which ones he did actually, but I think like Samus and Bowser and Bowser Jr. So yeah, like looking at other characters, like, you know, what would it be like if you had, I don't know, Zelda and like Link in there, and what would you do with other characters? I mean, yeah, he's done an awful lot. So I feel actually, yeah, I guess no matter what I do, I'd feel like I'm he's got there first. But I mean, you know, he got on there, he did that work first, so kudos to him for being one of the earlier people to do it. So, ooh, Mike Tyson. Yeah, that would be a kind of tough one actually, because with a lot of the, and it makes me kind of glad that, like, well, I suppose to be fair, someone like because the way they did Mr. Sandman in the Punch-Out Wii version, being tell you what, actually, I'm just gonna ask the chat something. If I'm playing the music and speaking at the same time, are they both clear? I don't want to sort of, you know, if I'm trying to tell you something, I don't want the music to be distracting from that, but likewise, I don't want to be playing the music and then be speaking over it sort of too loudly. Is it comprehensible if I speak and play music at the same time? So I'm not just constantly halting my composing just so I'm speaking. But yeah, with the Mike Tyson, they've kind of covered that with Sandman, and Sandman's theme sort of, I think, doesn't fit his look as Muhammad Ali, and that kind of like a Muhammad Ali style character, but the music definitely fits him as in his like title defense version when he'd got a bit more of a Mike Tyson look at him. So I think they kind of already covered that. It's just got the right kind of feel for it. But that being said, I mean, well, actually, yeah, if you want someone for my least favorite Punch-Out character ever, it's got to be Mr. Dream. I think just like being just a stand-in for Mike Tyson, it just doesn't really have any kind of character. Yeah, I mean, I've got it set up so that the music is the main focus, really. I mean, I guess what I'll do is I'll just be working through things. I'll see what the balance is. That's what part of working out when you're streaming. You know, you find out what you have to do to balance things. Maybe, well, yeah. If I feel like I need to stop playing it and I'll be speaking over it or anything like that, I might adjust the volume. But for now, I'll keep it as is. Da, 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 da. And let's just boost up the volume of that nylon guitar so it's a little bit louder, more central as well. That will boost up the volume as well. Oh, and I need to change it to old tango. That might be a nice sound. What about... I'll change it to the same sound of one of the other ones, and being a melody instrument, it might be a bit different. Have that not go on so long. Cut that off. And then see how that flows back into the... into this version. See what that does. Oh, that's a good shout with the trumpet, actually. Because yeah, I can get the same trumpet sound that I used for that, and yeah, let's make room for that in. Yeah, bump these down again. I used the fire trumpet, didn't I? So let's just get another one of these. That's there. Ah. Don't like the way that thing bleeds. The problem with this sample, these guitar ones though, the pattern tends to bleed be on the bar. Even when you stop it sort of directly on the bar to fill it, it then tries to go over. I'm going to leave that for the moment anyway, but let's get that cloned, change it out for... where do I have the fire trumpet? It's not... It's this other one as well. Oh no, it isn't. No, it's 8D. Ah, there we go. That's why I couldn't find it. Fire trumpet. Open this up. Legato. Pop that in there. Might just take a moment to load. Sometimes these things do. Okay, that is going to take a moment to load. While it's doing that, let's just look back at chat, see if I missed anything. Oh, an Amigus collab. I mean, I would be very open to one, but of course, you know, whenever you're trying to collab with someone else, you need to find exactly what you're going for and the time to do it and sort it all out. So, but I would never say never. Was there anything else I missed? I'll just scroll back up through the chat here. Oh yeah, also, oh yeah, the analysis video on Von Kaiser. Yes, I think I saw that same one actually. I can't remember what channel it was, but yeah, to give the kind of the background. That's the kind of thing, as I was saying, it's quite a nice character that you've got. You know, Von Kaiser in the say NES Punch-Out game, he's German. Von Kaiser in the Punch-Out Wii game, he seems to have PTSD and like gets beaten up by his students and things like that, and you know, it's a great bit of character work for him. But yeah, as you're saying, he feels like a kind of a washed up sort of former champion kind of level guy, and that's definitely done a number on him. So yeah, you get these nice little sort of character bits to them, which is good fun. I think that's had time to load. So. Oh, it's always so quiet. Even when I've boosted the volume here as well. Let's just rename that Fire Trumpet. I can keep track of it. And let's give it its pattern as well. So, and put it on its own channel. Which one had the... Oh, that one's on 5, so I'll put it on 2. Oh yeah, because these ones aren't going to need it. And let's give it a little bit of... Oh wait, no, I can give it from the actual thing itself. I can give it from the effects a little bit of reverb, I think. Oh no, this one doesn't have reverb. That's stupid. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, maybe... I swear this does have... No, maybe not. I will give it some reverb then, just to give it a bit of a nicer sound, so... Okay, and then what I probably want is vibrato. That gave it probably vibrato. That's what I want from it. Yeah. Once again, this is going to have a bit of the heterophonic effect where they're both playing the same tune technically, but they're going to be slightly different. So. Oh, this is one of the funny quirks as well. It doesn't like it where if you have this solidly end on that line and this one starts solidly on that line, it doesn't play this top note. It's a bit of a weird quirk to work around, but well, you know, these happen with VSTs. It's a little bit fast for that. Yeah, I'm going to have that one stay on the top note, and the guitar can do the work of the moving down the melody. That's... fades out a little bit too much on that, but it might work for now. Yeah, between the two of those, that might be quite nice. Might come back to that a little bit later. And then back for the pause music. Yes, yeah, the lauded bit, yes, Glass Joe's win was against Nick Bruiser. I'm trying to remember, I saw something which was talking about it's like the timeline of Punch-Out, where, isn't it the Super Punch-Out, it's like Super Punch-Out takes place before the original or the Punch-Out NES or something, so yeah, that's Glass Joe's win is the freak win, even though Nick Bruiser doesn't have like a loss, or I can't remember exactly what it was now. But yeah, something like that. And what's next after Master Muscle? I don't actually know. Obviously, I think, as I said before, Dragon Chan was still ongoing project, but maybe I might try someone like Heiki Kagero. I think I said before when we were doing the other stream that I wanted a kind of like a J-rock, J-pop kind of feel for that, change up his character a little bit, give it some of that influence. So that might be a fun one to do next. But, you know, I will, if I'm doing it as a stream on it, whatever comes to mind, I'll make sure I'll post about it and say kind of who I'm working on. Oh, Hoi Kualo, yes. I think very much for him, I'd be going the traditional, more traditional Chinese. So I might need to kind of look up a bit more of like traditional Chinese music and some sounds, and maybe even a couple different instruments I might get. I've been eyeing up a couple of ones, but they might work quite nicely for getting a kind of classic sound. But if I'm doing that, I feel like I'd want to make it distinguished. I probably need to look up a lot of kind of source material on that one, but I could see that and then come up with something pretty immediately, so who knows. I think probably Heiki Kagero might be the one which will come up next, most likely. And then yeah, when I'm going to Nick and Rick Bruiser, it's going to be an interesting one. They might be a bit down the line until I get a good idea on them. But yeah, probably Heiki Kagero after this one. does this sound like if I do put it that extra beat back in? That's a bit too... That makes it nice and heavy, so I think for the pause music you want it to be a bit lighter with just that other beat. Do we want the... Oh, not that one. The accordion. That was not what I wanted at all. Yeah, that's what I need. I need that in as well. Actually works surprisingly well just as the pause theme, so that's actually quite nice on that. So that's given us a general basis of the round music, the Mac down, opponent down, and pause music. So we'll need the I'll save that. We've got kind of the vibe. It would be kind of an interesting thing, yeah. For the victory, well, I might make it a bit heavier as well. Oh, there's a good few more comments since I last looked. Yeah, that Heiki's theme should have a Sakura. Yeah, I might look into some of those to get some influence from with the Street Fighter ones. We'll see what we get from it. I mean, there's plenty of J-pop, J-rock things I can sample from as well. That'd be good. And when the Dragon Dragon Chan, once again, it still needs a bit of work. So I'm going to be coming back to that. Maybe streaming might actually leave it off stream just so I can really get into the sort of less entertaining nitty gritty stuff. But certainly for this one, for Mass Muscle, pretty much once I get it down and do some tweaks, this one will probably be coming up pretty soon because it seems to be going quite well. And then yeah, maybe Dragon Chan a bit down the line. As you might have seen as well, I don't know if you guys noticed, while I've got, well, both with this stream's thumbnail and also the other ones, I've made a little bit more of a slightly professional look, and kind of themed punch out thumbnails. So I've got ones prepared for all of the Super Punch Out ones coming. So yeah, they're definitely all still in my mind, all still going to be coming down the line. Oh, Master Muscle versus Mask X, yeah, that would be quite good. I would want to see. There used to be there was that video game championship wrestling Twitch stream, wasn't there? They often had characters. Well, yeah, it's in the name. Of course, they had characters from games, but yeah, you could have. You could sort of make them in WWE or one of the WWE games and have at it. But also, yeah, just as like, I can imagine that as an animated character fight, that'd be pretty cool. Just for my own sanity, I've got to find out where this stop pattern button is for this nylon guitar, because then when I record it, it's also going to go in there and it's gonna keep playing that. There's got to be something which is stop pattern, isn't there? Like key switch. Oh, what's that? Oh, ending 3. Okay. Ending 3, ending key switches. Something's got stop pattern. Where is it? That slide. Oh, there is a stop pattern button. There's meant to be, because you're meant to be able to stop the pattern. Maybe that's what it's doing. No. Slide endings. Ah, there's got to be. Oh, this is going to really annoy me now. I might just have to deal with it for the moment and then just rely on it. Yeah, I'm just going to have to deal with it. Ah, well. Kid Quick. Yeah, Kid Quick might be a good idea. I know that people theorize that Kid Quick is kind of ended up as Disco Kid, but that's obviously such a very distinguished character that, yeah, you could probably do something else with Kid Quick to try and differentiate him as well, which might be quite good. So yeah, I'd definitely look into that as well with, I probably will do Pizza Pasta as well. So yeah, I'd look in and see what I could do with that as well. So, right, we need a victory, we need a loss, and we need a continue, isn't it? Hang on a sec. I just need to check. I need to check my own videos to remember what the different sections are in these. There's the fourth menu. There's victory, the move on, rematch, and the loss. Ah, yes. So the victory is the. God, I hate that I can sort of not remember some of the things I'm time to time. So what do we want? What do we want? That's the loss theme. I probably want to do that one last. Just copy these. Actually, no, I shouldn't really do that. I should. Put that straight like that. Let's keep the heavier Beijing beat in as well. This because for the victory, that would work quite nicely. Let's change this at the end here. So. Yeah, that works quite nicely. Duh. Cut all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put this back to 4 steps so I can see the beat. Duh. Cut all of that out. Let's see what it does. You know, of course, it works quite nicely, even if it does cut off pretty quickly. And let's just clone this, and I've got kind of a feel of what I want to do with the guitar chords for this as well. put this back into the strumming patterns here. Dun, dun. I don't want to change it up on the sort of 2 every bar chords, but what exactly are the chords going to be? So something like that. I think this nylon guitar patch as well has these ending keys which sort of finish it up, so I might play around with some of those to end off some of these instead of making it cut off very suddenly, but for now, at least while I'm working on it, that might have to do so. Oh, I need that to cut off there, so those 4. Yeah, there we go. So that version of T-Hawk's theme. I'm going to very quickly put up, or just listen to T-Hawk theme, just so I can get a stupid YouTube adverts. I really should invest with an ad blocker. I could see if I could play something of that into it. I'm not sure. I'd need to think about it. That might be something which I look into sort of on my own time, the T-Hawk theme, or what I can incorporate into that. I'd need to give it a good listen. Jeremy, as I said a bit ago, I think after Masked Muscle, I'm probably going to do Heiki Kagero actually, but probably Hoi Kualo might be coming soon after that as well. All depends on how quickly. I said that for what I want to do for that is try and look into a bit more of traditional Chinese music and maybe like Chinese opera or something like that. See if I can get something, because a lot of the Kung Fu sound is sort of going into Dragon Chan to get like that kind of Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan martial arts movie 70s feel. But we'd see what can come with that. Let's also get a pattern in for the second guitar. Give it same chords, and maybe just change up. Ah, yes. Oh. Oh, that sounds quite... sounds almost... I'm not quite sure what genre it makes me think of, but... What does that sound like then? Maybe not. Yeah, that might work quite nicely with it. Maybe I'll add in to sort of give a bit more of that sense of heaviness. I might keep the rhythm guitar in there as well. I'll give that a pattern, because the Victory kind of feels like it needs to be a bit heavier. It was okay for it to be a bit light for the enemy knockdown, opponent knockdown one, just because that's sort of not too bad. Well, hang on a sec. This can't be in the right... Oh no, that's the accordion, that's why. That's what I did wrong. Yeah, that's the rhythm guitar. That's the one we should be going a little bit ahead. But yeah, for the actual Victory one, it will probably need to be a bit more heavy. It kind of feels more like an accomplishment, I guess. So let's just chuck these up. How I play on that. Just make this very simple patterning. Maybe I'll change up the pattern like I did with the earlier bits of the rhythm guitar, making it kind of a bit like the Spanish strumming where you add an extra bit. Actually make it the right chords, that would be a good idea. Get that, and then... I'm going to make that one drop off like I did with the like I did with the earlier part of it, so that should be not that one, it's G there. Ooh. What's going on? Some kind of error just came up on... Oh, it seems that my OBS just lost connection for a moment or something. I don't know if it's come back now or not. I don't know, it might have just dropped out for a second there, but hopefully it should be okay. Okay, well it seems to have got rid of the notification about it, so I'm going to assume that's okay. But maybe I'll have to look at that afterwards. Okay, well we'll just carry on. So that's hopefully should be the drop slide. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So let's have that playing. Yeah, that works quite nicely. In fact, that might even make me want to put the guitar into the let's see what if I put this rhythm guitar in with this. Take that out of it. Then copy that. Oops. It's a bit heavy, actually. Maybe it's not what I want. That's what I want. I want it to be a slightly less active one. So instead of these da 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 da, that's what I want to do. Da 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 da. And these ones, how does that one sound? That's what I want to do. That da 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 da. Just changing it up slightly. And keep that one. Change those in like that. 2, 4. That probably keeps it fairly light anyway. Or maybe do I want the bass in as well to give it a bit more grounding? Yeah, I think actually this slightly heavier version is actually not too bad. I do think as much as I've got this sort of quite nice, I do like this expressive PNG avatar. The one thing I think it will miss from if, say, I had a on like an active VTuber rig or something, would be the fact that I do like to bob around a lot when I'm listening to music, so you would at least get to see me vibing even if I went silent and just listening to this. But I'm actually liking the feel of this a lot. I'm just going to play it through once more just for you guys, just in case anyone who's in hadn't heard it from the beginning. I will still keep working on this, of course, but just as a little break for the moment. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set that going again. I just need to grab something, so I'm just going to mute myself real quick. But I'm going to keep it playing for you. Hopefully I should be back and it shouldn't loop too many times, so I hope you guys don't mind that it will probably loop for a second, but it's not enough that I feel like I'd need to go for a stream pause or anything like that. So I'll just play that and mute myself, and I'll be back in literally just a second. Got back in pretty good time, actually. Ooh. Just enough for it to loop around. Nice. So, yeah, I think that's sounding good. So, what else do we need? We've got that. Maybe I should boost the volume of the fire trumpet. Just so it was a bit too loud. Yeah, maybe that would be an automation thing. It needs to be a bit quieter. And it's not too bad, actually. Yeah, I can keep it like that, actually. That volume's not too bad. And then... yeah, that's good. And so I need my... need a moving on and the loss. So... which is in the minor key. It's in the same as the... I think it's in the same key as the original, isn't it? Let's just double check something. Sorry about the quietness on this. I'm just Yes, it is. Okay, good. Just having to double check to make sure I'm not going to do anything different from what I've done with the other ones. It's always meant to be, yes, the moving on starts in the minor key, and the tierce piccity at the end, which is where it goes. Nice sort of major twist at the end. So definitely going to keep these beats in. Oh, I need the full version of that. Oh. Oh. And I'm going to do the same as I did in the earlier part of this, which was got a nice little hit beat on that. Works as a nice little ender cap, and I'm going to have the head of that. That's on there as well. And I'm going to do a similar thing where the guitar cuts off at the end. So actually, let's clone this first of all. Make sure it's starting right place. Let's keep it simple at the moment while I'm finding this one out. Cut that, and that's the final bit. That slide goes down there. That. Actually, I should have just left it along like that. Can just go along like that. Make that like that. Extra note. Open chord on there. Gonna put. Oops. Triplets on there. Short, that's short. Cut that short so it feels a little bit more. I'm gonna make that a quick double, like a quick. Maybe not muted, maybe that's staccato as well. Shorten that slightly, get a bit more of the... In fact, all of these I'm probably going to shorten slightly. Just give it a bit more separation. Yeah, that's what we want. Oh. Sugar. What's then? That's one of the things I always have to watch out for, is sometimes I edit a pattern on a guitar or something when I've copied it over, and it turns out I was working on the original one and I've changed the original one. So luckily, though, whenever I've done that, it means that the next one down the list of patterns would be a copy. I really should start naming my patterns pretty much as I make them, rather than leaving it as a long list of numbers, which I then sort of clean up later. But well, I can usually remember it. It makes it quick for me to work with. So. Okay, that one's the right one. Good, that stayed the same then. So this one should be. This one's definitely going to be electric guitar tuned, so. Actually not had too much of the electric melody in this as much as I should have, so I think this is pretty similar to what I did with Piston Hurricanes, actually, in terms of the actual tune of it. I think I had a similar thing, except I did it on the trumpet. And these to also be power chord. Oops. That there. And then have it drop off in the same way. Down. Maybe have that one start going slightly later so it will hit about the same as the other one. Maybe that's a little bit too late, it doesn't quite cut off nicely in time. That would probably do it though. Ah, thanks Raging Fist. It's nice to hear that it's been great, sort of the feedback I've been receiving from everyone who's been listening to these. It's been great, just a small project I've started, but for people to have found it good, and you know, it's quite funny. I've occasionally had these little sort of forays of, you know, making music for one thing or other, and people sort of cropping up and and listen to it occasionally. But this has been a bigger response than I've received from many things. So it's great to have you guys sort of tuning in as well for this. Yeah, no, it really means a lot to me. So thank you guys for coming to all of these as well. It's great. Okay. So yeah, I think once we put the rest of the fill out into that should work quite nicely. Let's take from actually no, let's take from the main accordion bandonian pattern. I'm never saying that instrument's name correctly. I've literally got it right. Bandonian. Bear. Can't get it right. Ah well. I should really check my chords before I start doing this so it actually works. Yeah, that should fit in quite nicely with this. Listen to it. Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to use my music. I think probably the only thing I'd ask if you're using the music is just give a link back, you know, to my channel or anything like that. And yeah, you know, just like a credit in a video description or anything like that. You know, with a link back is perfectly fine. Fine by me. Let's see how that sounds. For some reason it sounds a little bit more drowned out there than it does in the... maybe that does work. Maybe it just needed a second for me to listen to it again. Okay, let's get some of the other instruments into there. Let's see. And I've made this as the copy of it. Good, okay. That's what I want to change it to. That's actually for the second part of it. No, that's not right. Let's put these two together. That's what it was. Maybe this one. So here's another interesting thing, just if anyone's intrigued. While I'm doing this, technically this chord is wrong. It should be a continuation of this same chord here. You notice it's slightly different, but actually sometimes it gives it, especially if it's something a bit inaudible like this guitar in the middle of everything else, it just subtly changes the sound of it. So it's actually technically wrong, the wrong chord, but, well, I don't know. Consider jazz. You're not, you know, nothing's necessarily the wrong chord exactly. But, yeah, just sort of changes it up, adds a little bit of texture when we come around for that. Makes it sound a little bit different in the middle of it. And hopefully should be subtle enough that it shouldn't stick out too much. But, yeah, that's what I need. Oh, something feels weird. Ah, it's the accordion hitting that anticipation. Da, da, da. Shift these ones over slightly. So they were hitting slightly early before the chord, and it just kind of sounded a little bit off, so I'm going to try it here. It also changes up the rhythm of the accordion, so it's slightly different, gives a little bit more to work with. Okay, let's copy this, that there, take these chords, copy them between the two guitars. It's nice and simple to work with those when you've got that as your when these two guitars work from the same engine and you're wanting them to do pretty much the same thing, except this one. I've got to make it do the regular chords that I wanted. I'm going to change this one. Yeah, let's see how that's going. Yeah, that sounds quite good actually. A lot of this, probably the bass is what's going to make it come together, so let's just get that in there. First of all, actually, no, I needed bass for this. I didn't put bass in. Change up the last one so it's not have that pick. Actually, I'm going to do this instead. I am going to put that in there. Only for now that works. Then let's copy this here. Wrong key. Switch this up slightly. Triplet on there, change that so. Make it slightly more lazy, so it's going to go slightly later on there. Gonna make the bass slide off there as well. Which is what is it on the bass one? Slide is the A down from the C below that, so down that C and then the A there, so that should slide off. Yeah, it does. Okay. I might go back to that later and add in another instrument or something. Maybe the trumpet. Maybe. See what I can do with that. But yeah, this is mostly just getting all of the outlines for everything, and I think comfortably I'm going to get all of the sections in. Going to come back, tweak the introduction, and then I'm also going to change up how this leads into the round theme. It feels like it's a little bit bare at the moment. Could do with something else. And then that's probably it for that section. Oh, and I was going to show. I don't know if the people in here were there earlier when I was talking about. I was maybe going to show off a little bit of some of my other projects. I've got ones which were to do a bit ago with Pokemon Gold and Silver music that I was sort of changing, updating. I honestly haven't looked at them for a while, so I have no idea what state they were in again, but I'll just do that at the end. Nice little extra bonus of different things that I've done. So what I really need, the Lost theme is the fun. Every time I say Lost now, I keep thinking of that bloody comic. So yeah, I've got the Victory theme, I've got the Continue theme, and then just need that. I'm gonna have that also be a electric guitar one for the Lost theme. See if I can get a good rhythm for that. Now it's a case of whether I want that one to also go there and hit slightly early. Yeah, I will want it. I want it to be slightly off key to represent it. Oh, these shreddage guitars actually, they have a nice effects kind of thing for kind of squeaky noises. I might do one of those actually. Maybe I'll do that on the rhythm guitar, just where you can get this very nice off key. I never know exactly what to call it, but that's kind of a weird, quirky sound of it that sounds quite good for the rhythm guitar. So I'm going to do that on the rhythm guitar one, I think. That one actually already sounds quite nice with just an odd chord, and have that trail off. I know what I want to do with that actually. Not quite a triplet, but The the closest thing I can say to the sound I've got in my head for what I want to do with this chord is, if people ever played Tekken and played Tekken 4, the character, is it the character, hang on a sec, there's one which opens with this really, I mean, talk about ambient music for that as well. It's a really good atmospheric music in Tekken 4. But yeah, that's kind of, yeah, the character select screen, I think it is. It's got a really nice just opening guitar chord on that. That's the kind of vibe, kind of like slightly off key. Yeah, not that slow. Da da da. Da da. Find a way to stop it looping back around to the beginning, because every time I'm going to do this ending thing, it's going to keep wanting to cut off there. Maybe I'll put something over here, just so it won't loop back immediately. That works certainly for the moment. Then we'll put that with, once again, probably the hard-hitting ones. Do I want it to cut short immediately? Yeah, I probably do actually. I want that one to cut right down there. Oh, I cut off slightly. What about King's theme? Oh, I'm trying to remember, because a lot of the Tekken ones that I played, it was after they kind of changed it, so characters didn't necessarily have specific themes. That was mostly like Tekken 4 onwards, where everything was much more sort of stage-specific themes and theming around that. So I'm not too familiar with things like the Tekken. I just know that Tekken 3 and like Tag 1 and things like that had the actual named after the characters ones. I'm not so familiar with that, but I imagine it's got kind of a good vibe. I definitely need to. I've been playing Tekken 8 as well, and I've been looking through some of the older soundtrack ones. I like to play up with the jukebox in that game. We'll see if I stream it sometime. I've got to like start, practicing. Maybe do some ranks or something like that in characters. Get used to them. So try out my Hwarang. But well, gaming streams are something which I'm considering and might come along. At the moment, we're doing the music. So. It's going to be a shame that this percussion is just not. When I'm doing the drum kit sort of via the instruments, then it's a lot easier for me to do these sort of odd quirky things, like I can slow it down, I can make the tempo slow down kind of nicely. With this one, I don't think it wouldn't react well to that with the sample drum beats, and it would be very tedious going in and making it slow down manually, I think. So I'm just going to try and think what's going to leave it as a satisfying thing, because you want that kind of loose chord at the end. Maybe I can find some kind of open cymbal hit that will leave a long noise at the end of that. So I've got those hits on the beats, but then something else gives like a long cymbal sound just to continue on. Maybe I'd even load up the drum kit just for that. Once again, let's just copy this for the guitar. Ah, maybe this is where I can try out the ending, those ending buttons on the nylon guitar. It's got these keys which give... That's not an ending, what's that doing? Or does that fall off? Ah, it does. That just plays the chord. Ah, these are what I need to use then, so... Why isn't that? Maybe this. Oh, is it a trigger? That might work. And then I might make the other one slide down. And copy. In fact, I'm just going to copy it straight with this pattern, do that. That on there. Then have this one slide off when it does it, so. Oh, except I didn't change that into the other pattern. I changed that into the wrong one. This one into here. Oh, a sound from the Piston Hurricane theme. I'll have that one finish on the end there. Oh, thanks, Just Oasis. Yeah, it's quite easy for me to kind of fall into these things, especially when it's going well, and just kind of like push through, put these through, and then tweak them. I mean, that's why I do it. It's fun for me to do all of these, to come up with these, to think these things through, and try out these different musical things, and just playing around with these instruments and having fun with it. But yeah, I also kind of like sort of making projects out of things. Sometimes these go into sort of the ideas of existing games, and what would you know, something like this, a speculation on what would happen if you had these other characters in Punch-Out Wii. Other times it's, what if there was a game like you know, such and such a theme, and what kind of music would you use for that, and things like that. It's good fun for me exploring those kinds of things. Why? Oh, it's doing something different there. It's not too bad, actually. It should be. Maybe I'll change this one. That one like that. This one into... that one up one, so it's... maybe that will change it up enough. Probably what I might need is a bass kind of slide up and down at the end. That gives it a nice kind of feel to it. Let's copy that bass line there. Get the slide. That's where the slide is. And then it should be one which is the slide between notes one, because that's the slide off note. It's the one. Oh no, that's play notes underneath it. Slide note, repeat last note. Oh. Oh, it doesn't have. I thought this had a slide between notes key as well. Oh, that's where it is. Oh, okay. It's got a separate key switch for it. That's interesting. Okay, well, I can work with that. So it's the C above that. So. Yeah, that is the right one then. Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's right. This one's the slide then, so. There we go. Let's see how that sounds with everything else. Yeah, and then dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's what we want. Ooh. That's the rhythm guitar one, so we want a copy of that in there. Once again, quarter of a beat early, quarter of a whatever early. I think that's right. Ah, no, that's what I need it to be. That, and it slides off on that note. So move that there. This should work now. Ah, maybe I can Wait, this kind of a weird triplet-like thing where it starts early. Oops, come on now. That's probably what I want. Rid of all of these. Final chord should be on an open one. Those ones are both staccato, so we make them. Yeah, that's quite a nice juicy thing. There we go, so. Not quite. Maybe I need all of them to be on the open one and just rely on the shortness of the notes to add that punch. That's because those are too early, actually. That's why it sounds a bit weird. Da, da, da. This is what I actually need. That's better. That works much better. That keeps the percussion underneath there. So I think that's normally all the sections done. I'm going to change up the rhythm guitar part on this because it's not a bit too simplistic on this. Maybe that works, makes a difference. No, that's not right. Feels like it should be something different with this chord, so not da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Interesting. Maybe kind of difficult to know what to do with this. This introduction. It's a slightly different feel from the rest of it, but I think that's mostly just because the as I said before, I'm basing this introduction, as with all the other ones, off the SNES introduction music, which it sounds kind of rock heavy, but it's not quite getting the Mexican luchador feel from it, from that original one. But then again, I quite like the idea. It's got this heavy feel. I can imagine sort of the intro cutscene that goes with it. The pictures that flash up as a very, I guess it's kind of like him getting kicked out of disqualified from pro wrestling for cheating and everything like that. You could get something good out of that. Maybe any of these other instruments. What can I bring in? Maybe just changing up the pattern. There's something about it sounds... Hmm. Beat from Eddie Guerrero. I could look into that as inspiration. Maybe I think there's a few things which after I'm finished with the stream and when I'm coming back and doing the tweaking on it, I might look at some of these inspirations and maybe sort of try and add a little bit of that just before I finish it all off and everything. It gets kicked out for yeah, it's yeah, the WVBA is an interesting organization, we'll say. I think we all by now we know that video. Whose is it which goes through and talks about every wrestler's infractions and everything. And yeah, Mask Muscle is quite interesting. Although, to be fair, things like the poison mist. I mean, consider wrestling in Japan. That's it's a pretty. I mean, it's a heel tactic. It's not legal, but you know, you certainly got those who use that a lot. But yeah, quite interesting to have someone who's very clearly still fighting as if a pro wrestler in the boxing league. Or a boxing association, rather. Oh yeah, Light Cheat Steel. Yeah, I'll definitely give it a listen as well. See if there's any elements I can add from that. Maybe that does sound a bit weird actually on this. Have I done something funny with the Rogue guitar sound? No, it's on regular sustain. I am gonna put that one up. Maybe I'll add this into here as well. It gives it a bit of a... Yeah, that gives a little bit more texture to that. That sounds nice. Yeah, that's what I want for that. And I'm wondering if for the... Prior to the round music... I want some electric guitar for this opening. Or maybe I want to change this up. And just have it be a single note. Quite like the clash with that staying the same note, but I think it might need... it's a bit too sudden a change. No, I think what it needs... Not too bad, and then yeah, if I add the electric guitar rhythm, clone that, date pattern 24, put that in here. Just have it be a straight. Take all of these out. Just be an open chords. That can go there. Take these, turn them into power chords. Boost that up the octave. Boost it again. Boost up to the 5th. Oh, I buggered that up completely. It's meant to be double the length of that, so more like that. Oh, what? Interesting. It sounded like it wasn't changing the electric guitar chord, even though it was just the... Oh no, it's just must have been just my ears. Very weird. Put that a bit later. that's what I was going to do. There's going to be a rhythm guitar part where I put in the weird FX chords, wasn't it? Maybe not there then. So. Interesting, that's been changed. This is an example of something where I didn't clone the pattern, I just took it and copied it. Or I just took it once and then pasted it, or changed something about it, and I didn't actually. I just messed up this one here. So I'm going to need to fix this again, try and remember what I had for it. Which I think it was exactly the same patterns, I just changed the... Yeah, that's actually all it was. Lucky for me. I might even change it to be a little bit more interesting this time. And there. Oh, it thinks it's still on slide, that's why. Ooh, just said that OBS disconnected. Oh, reconnected again. I don't know if the stream is just gonna cut out for a second in the moment, but should hopefully be back. I'll just keep going. Assume it's fine. I want to do something to make sure that this pattern does fire off at the right time. Maybe I do get rid of that. Oh, but that's going to reach into that previous one, isn't it? How does it... Oh, it helps that that one is all right. So it's just this one where it doesn't want to play the first note for some reason. Okay, it does that time. But sometimes it doesn't want to play from here. Maybe I'll make this smaller. Put it closer. Ah, that's why that's cutting out. It's not hitting that note there. Maybe this one I do make it the main guitar. I'm gonna copy this, put it into lead guitar, and then try that out. So, I'm gonna, oh, why is it over there? Come on, get it. Ah, weird. Don't know why I put it over there. Let's pop it there. I'm gonna put the volume of those down a little bit, and then I think I definitely need the maracas in there. That's definitely something. So I'm probably gonna put it in as, copy this. Maybe I'll, where are my maracas? Let's put in here. Shakers is there. I hate that they call it shakers, not maracas, but remember this has annoying kind of lag on it when you're trying to make it. Oh, centralize that. Might have to work with that. Ooh, there. Oh, why is it not making? Ah, that's why it needs to be the one above. I appreciate when I'm kind of thinking out loud to myself, I might end up muttering a bit. I sometimes trail off a bit when I'm doing that and thinking hard about it, but oh well, it's making progress. around like that. So hopefully that should be good enough that I can actually... I'd hope it would be on beat enough. It would actually allow me to do that properly as a loop, so... Slightly. That's not too bad actually. A muted one. Maybe something with the accordion there might spice that up a little bit. Not sure what though. Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, that just adds a little extra touch to it. Something different. Save that. I think, you know what? Most of these are certainly a very solid base from where we're going. Oh, it's already 20 past 2 here. So yeah, what I'm going to do, tell you what, let's just listen to it all one more time, at the very least. Okay. I think I'm gonna save that there, and that's probably gonna be it for the Punch Out stream today. Just before we leave, just as a little treat, I did mention it before, but I thought it might be interesting. I mentioned just so you guys get a hint of some other things which I've done. Now the problem with FL Studio on my computer is that it does sometimes like to take a moment to load up with different instruments. But if I'll tell you what, let's do the cycling theme actually. That's quite a fun one. Start it up. Much more of an orchestral side of things, as if you did it in a concert, but maybe with a couple of extra bits and pieces in the concert. I honestly cannot remember where this, how far this music is in, but I do remember one thing about it that I did, which was I added, even though it's meant to be the cycling theme from Gold and Silver, I added a little sort of quote of the cycling theme from Red and Blue just into that. But I think this is almost more like a mind cleanser, assuming my FL Studio doesn't then decide to crash, because it is actually taking a bit of time to load. It might actually have okay. Maybe not then. Maybe I'll take that as a sign instead then. Well, maybe another time then. But anyway, so cheers. Thanks for coming along to this stream, guys. It's been wonderful to have you. I'm very happy with how that Masked Muscle music worked out. It's definitely with a much easier time than it was doing the Dragon Chan one, and so I'll see if I'll give that Masked Muscle one a few tweaks, and then it probably will be going up fairly soon. I don't know exactly how soon, of course, but yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, no, it really has crashed. What is it trying to load? I didn't think I put that much into it. Ah, well. Yeah, thank you so much for coming, everyone. Once again, I'll keep people updated on when there might be another stream. I might even try out sort of a couple of game streams as well. I don't know how many people will be interested in those, but we'll see who turns up to them and sticks around for them if I do them. I think, as I said before, I'd make it clear exactly what's coming up, of course. But thank you so much for coming, and I will see you next time, whenever next time is. And I can't find... there's my button for it. Okay, thank you.